The drama between Marc Merill, the co-founder of Riot Games, and IWillDominate, the League of Legends personality, reveals some deep-rooted issues about Riot Games and how they value their content creators. So, let's talk about that. For those of you who don't know what happened, Merill posted a tweet saying, "Never stop being a good person because of bad people." To an onlooker, this might look like your average semi-motivational Twitter quote that blue checkmarks post debate likes. However, since Riot Games just settled a class action lawsuit due to reported sexual assault only 4 days before this tweet, you begin to see why Merill's tweet was kind of insensitive. The Twitter drama blew up when Dom responded with a tweet saying, "Yeah, just sucks when the bad people work for the company that your career is based off of." Since the sexual assault lawsuit was one of the largest class action lawsuits in the entirety of the esports/gaming industry, I'm surprised that there wasn't more backlash on Merill's initial tweet. And while harsh, the reality is that posting a tweet about being a good person 4 days after the company you co-founded settled a sexual assault lawsuit simply was just a bad idea. However, in true Twitter fashion, Merill took IWillDominate's bait and responded to him saying, "Grats on having a career revolving around the free game we made." Yeah. There are many things wrong with Merill making this kind of comment, with the first one being the blatant disrespect for all the people who have worked their asses off in the industry surrounding League of Legends. When a high-up official makes this kind of comment, it shows both their arrogance and the complete disrespect for the people below them and all the things that they have accomplished. First, let's talk about how illogical it is for Merill to take credit for someone else's success just because that success was created through the game that he made. In 1891, at the International YMCA Training School in Springfield, Massachusetts, James Naismith invented the game of basketball. He was responsible for creating the first rules of basketball and is credited for setting the foundation of all that came after him in relation to the game of basketball. Now imagine for a second James Naismith was alive and decided to tweet out to Michael Jordan saying, "You're welcome for having success at the game I created." The media would shoot out in an uproar and everyone would be infuriated at this man taking credit for the greatness of Michael Jordan. The reason it would be so absurd for him to claim credit is that Naismith just wrote 12 rules for basketball to keep his kids fit at the YMCA, whereas Jordan gave his blood, sweat, and tears to the game of basketball in the pursuit of becoming the greatest of all time. So just because Naismith invented the game of basketball doesn't mean he deserves any credit for the accomplishments that Jordan was able to make. Now, back to Merill. Merill was able to create one of the most popular games of all time and deserves a lot of credit for that. However, that does not take away from the fact that the inventor of a game does not have the right to take credit for the accomplishments of those who used that game to become successful. Some may even argue that creating a successful and marketable organization within the League of Legends system, such as TSM, is an even more difficult task than the creation of the game itself. However, it is clear from Marc Merill's tweet that he believes he has worked the hardest and has sacrificed the most of anyone in the League of Legends community, and like Thanos, thinks he can just rest on a grateful universe. But no, he can't. So while his tweet was extremely disrespectful to anyone who has worked incredibly hard as either a player, a member of an organization, or as a streamer, it also shows how Riot Games truly feels about their content creators. Another popular League of Legends streamer named NightBlue3 responded to Merill's disregard for his game's content creators, saying, "I've always held the notion that Riot doesn't care about its creators, and this pretty much confirms it. It's sad to see creators who spend years building their own brand belittled by the founder himself. And while NightBlue is completely right about being belittled after all the years of hard work that it takes to build up a brand, I think he missed an even bigger point. Top League of Legends streamers don't just deserve credit for building their own brand, they also deserve credit for building the brand of League of Legends. In the early days of League of Legends, the community was mostly built around its content creators. A large majority of the success with esports actually comes from the esports players that streamed or made YouTube videos. If you just look at TSM in the early days, you had members of the team such as The Odd One, Dyrus, Bjergsen, and Reginald, all making YouTube and Twitch content for League of Legends. And when it came time for LCS, people who recognize these players would go and support them and their team. Without the extra effort that pro players put into branding themselves, the League pro scene might not be what it is today. It wasn't just pro League streamers, however. There were popular content creators such as Video Game Donkey, Nightblue3, Uberdanger, CivHD, etc. These players brought excitement and entertainment to a fresh new game and is likely responsible for thousands if not millions of players joining League of Legends. It is hard to find the exact statistics on the impact that the early content creators had on the success of League, but if you look at how many people watched these creators back then, it is not hard to assume that they had a massive impact. When you think of basketball, you think of the greats like Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. When you think about League of Legends, you think about Faker and Doublelift and streamers like Tyler1 and Yasuo. But you know who you don't think about when you think about League of Legends? Marc Merill. Marc Merill created the game, but the content creators surrounding League of Legends made the game the sensation that it is today. Marc Merill ended up blocking IWillDominate on Twitter and deleting his tweet about belittling those who have made a living off of League of Legends. However, I think it is still worth discussing. How Riot Games treats its content creators is a reflection of how it treats its community, because we as a community choose who is popular, and we choose, in a sense, who we want to represent us. And if the founder of Riot Games doesn't even have the respect for the people who create content for League of Legends, who will? Thank you guys so much for watching. This is my first time doing League of Legends drama on the channel, but as I was doing some research, I realized that there was a lot more I could actually talk about. So if you want me to talk more about drama or things related to League of Legends, go ahead and hit subscribe on this channel, and I'll try to do my best to put out content for all of you. And until next time, you've been electrified.